So I'm going to talk about optimal input today. The optimal input hypothesis says we acquire language and develop literacy from input, from understanding what we hear and what we read, not from speaking and writing. Our ability to speak and write fluently and accurately is the result of acquiring language from input. The evidence for this, briefly, studies showing the universality of a silent period, especially in informal language acquisition. Studies showing that if we increase output, we make students write more and speak more, it does not mean more language development. Also, the observation that language acquisition can occur without any output at all, and increasing input increases the quality of output. Finally, forcing output in language classes, making students talk before they're ready, is a cause of considerable anxiety. I first discussed optimal input years ago, and the concept has been deepened and improved by Benico Mason. We've concluded that optimal input has these 4 characteristics. Number 1, of course, it's comprehensible. This doesn't mean every detail is comprehensible. Input can be comprehensible even if there's a little noise in the input, some incomprehensible pieces. This includes unknown vocabulary and grammar, rules that have not yet been acquired but are not important for comprehension. In other words, language acquisition does not require that you understand every word and every part of every word. But of course, language acquirers should understand most of it. It's also, number 2, optimal input is extremely interesting, very interesting. The word I like to use for this is compelling. Compelling input is so interesting, you temporarily forget that it's in another language. If input is comprehensible and compelling, you won't even notice the noise in the input, most likely. The next characteristic. Optimal input is rich. This is characteristic number 3. It's rich in language that contributes to the message and the flow of the story or text. The language included in the input also gives the reader support in understanding and therefore acquiring new parts of language. Big point. It is not necessary to make sure that certain grammar and vocabulary is there in the input. Rich input automatically includes new, unacquired language that acquirers are ready for. We've called this I+1. Number 4, quantity. It takes a lot of comprehensible, compelling, rich input to make real progress. Optimal input is therefore, we use the word abundant, which provides more opportunities for the acquisition of language. The result of getting optimal input is subconscious language acquisition. Language acquirers will be focused on the story, the message, and they will not always be aware that acquisition has happened. The knowledge will be represented subconsciously in their minds.